Can you share a story about how a client has inspired you during your collaboration process?
So as the creator of the MACH reactor, I always see endless possibility with the MACH. I see an endless number of applications where the MACH can bring benefit and where we can improve things. And this has not always resonated by my clients. They don't always see it the same way. But every now and then there's a client that comes along who is almost as excited about the MACH reactor as I am, and who will put to me ideas that I've already had a long time ago. Sometimes as long as 10 years ago, I never managed to convince anybody to do it, so I give up on it. So recently I had a client from the gold industry where we had installed MACH reactors come to me, and he had a bright idea, and he says, can we modify the oxygen injection ring main, which are on this baby MACH reactor here. You can see these 4 points. That is where we add oxygen into the MACH reactor and go leaching. So what his request is, can we isolate one of the points? So create a ring main to add oxygen into 3 points as I'm holding it, and add cyanide into the remaining point. And he wanted to know, could we modify and customize this MACH reactor so that he could do that safely? And of course we can do anything. We build the MACH.
Yes.
So we went ahead and we did that for him. But there are two main, or there are a couple of drivers behind his request. And the first one being that was simply to save on cyanide, to reduce cyanide consumption. Because you lose cyanide, I think a lot of it is lost at the point where you dose cyanide into the pulp. Because you're putting in a concentrated solution that needs to hydrolyze and dissolve and mix in with the pulp, and that's not a perfect process. So you end up flashing off a lot of HCN gas, while this hydrolyzation is taking place, and at the end of the day, there can be quite a big loss of cyanide in that process.
Sure.
And secondly, of course, I know this was one of his intentions, is he was trying to drive the gold leach reaction, to drive the kinetics and the recovery, hopefully end up with a couple of % more recovery in doing this. So you want to ask yourself, so what's the magic then behind adding the cyanide in between the venturis of the MACH, in terms of how does that drive reaction? And if you go back and look at theory as to what drives chemical reaction, you're going to find that high levels of your reactants will help. In this case, it's going to be oxygen and cyanide, and so you are dosing them in at the same point, so they're in high concentration. The second thing would be good mixing, and you've got Reynolds numbers that run into the millions between the venturis of the MACH. Really extreme mixing, so you've ticked that box. And then they also say having a little bit of pressure helps. And the MACH isn't a pressurized vessel, but we do have back pressure generated in the venturis, or as the venturis resist the flow of the slurry, you generate a bit of back pressure. So technically, if you look at it, you've actually got all the ingredients there for chemical reaction to happen easily and at a higher rate. So you'd expect kinetics to be sped up, and you would expect to be able to squeeze out just a couple of % more in recovery. So that was the thinking behind it. That's what we ended up doing and testing. And not to steal too much of the thunder or the glory from the client, but we did manage to bring down the oxygen consumption by about 30%. We reduced the cyanide consumption, which is the most expensive reagent on a gold plant by far. We dropped that also by about 30%. And we managed to improve the leach kinetics, 25%, which a lot of people will say, well, it doesn't matter, our plant is already built. But in the instance of this client, in his particular case, he actually wanted to process some surface material that was lying around, so he needed that extra throughput capacity. So that a boost in kinetics helped him. And of course, at the end, we got a couple of extra % of gold recovery, and who doesn't want that? So it was quite mind-boggling, the benefits that we got. And all we did essentially was change one thing.
Yeah.
We just dosed the cyanide into one of the dosage ports in between the two venturis of the MACH. It was an idea that came to us from the client. They were willing to be adventurous and try this, and it really did pay off in a big way.
Wow, wow, wow. Awesome. Impressive numbers.
It's very impressive
Sure.
numbers, and I think if the client wasn't achieving it himself, he wouldn't have believed me if I told him, when we started this project, that's what you're going to get. I don't think he would have believed me, but seeing is believing, they say.
Wow.
And it's a great example of how collaboration can work for you. Collaboration, and then just engaging with the supplier of the technology, the inventor, the creator of the technology, which is myself, to see how we can customize things to give you a unique product in the end.
Yeah, and I suppose it helps that you are hands-on with it. You're not, it's not like there's a team of people selling MACHs that have no idea what they are.
Absolutely.
So you've got that direct relationship with your clients, and that just opens that up for,
straight from the horse's mouth.
Yes, yes. Awesome, awesome.